Okay, hi. Today we're doing a pick a card reading. What are they currently thinking about you? I have six different piles to choose from, so you can choose based off of the top card, the crystal that's on your pile, or just by the number. But yeah, go ahead and choose your pile. One fun little thing, it's not super important, so you could go ahead and skip to your pile if you want to. I just wanted to say something. It was kind of cool when I did this, shuffled out these piles with these cards here. They have an upright and reversal meanings, and they're kind of newer cards to me, so I generally with tarot, I just do upright because I know the upright and reversed meanings, and I feel like tarot has more than enough energies in it that it still kind of comes out the way it needs to. But anyways, learning a new deck, I do want to learn like the upright and reversal meanings. Um, so it was funny when I shuffled out the cards for these piles, I was thinking, you know, I was kind of debating, do I want to leave the cards face up as a way people can intuitively choose their piles? So I decided maybe I'll do that. And I shuffled out the first one, it came out upright. The second one also came out upright, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm sure not all of them are going to come out upright. That would be pretty unlikely. So I'm sure I'm going to have to kind of keep in mind which ones come out in reverse for their piles and like maybe write notes for which ones so I can keep track. But guess what? All of these came out upright, which was kind of amazing. But also, like, kind of I'm thankful about it because um, yeah, it just kind of aesthetically worked for what I was trying to do. Anyway, I just wanted to share that, but it's not really important. If you're listening, thank you. But yeah, go ahead and choose your pile, and then yeah, we'll get into your reading. Alright, pile one. So you chose the Alchemist and this tourmaline, it's green tourmaline stone. I went to a mine in California to get this when I was pretty young. So let's see, what are they thinking about you? Before I get into your shuffled cards, I kind of want to try something new. So I got these astrology dice, and I haven't used them yet, but I think maybe this is the one we're gonna use it. Um, so I kind of want to just see like besides just like their thoughts of you, just kind of want to get a look at kind of how they're currently viewing you right now. So, yeah, let's see. How is Pile One's person currently viewing them? Okay, so we've got Jupiter, the 8th house, and we've got Virgo. Okay. So at the eighth house, I wonder, with 8th house and Virgo, to me it's making me think of someone who can be quite reserved or private or shy, even. Like a little bit, yeah, reserved. So I wonder if they're seeing you as someone who is a bit reserved, but lucky. Jupiter. I think they might see you as someone who's lucky, someone very fortunate, someone who's expanding in some way. It could also be, I don't know, with the 8th house, it does kind of talk about shared finances and kind of like intimacy as well. So, I mean, with the 8th house, it does give like somewhat of like a sexy vibe. So, I wonder if this person sees you like maybe they're very curious about you in a sexual way. But they could also, I feel like they could see you as someone who's very responsible in partnerships, especially when it comes to like finances and money. Like you would be the one who keeps track of like spending and stuff like that in a relationship. And yeah, it's something like I feel like this is really kind of about finances more. Like they see you as someone who's very careful with your finances and someone who's like really good at creating abundance, possibly through your intimate relationships. Maybe this person sees you as someone who dates people who brings you like luck within money. Um, I'm not sure if it would be, but it is kind of also making me think of inheritance a little bit. But yeah, like maybe luck making money through partners, or otherwise, I feel like maybe you're just good at controlling money. So let's see. The Alchemist. We have balance, invention, and destruction. I will probably read from the book for this one. Yeah, I'll do that now. Now, give me 1 second to find it. And it's a short little passage, so it's pretty quick. 58. Okay, here we go. So it says, in order to create, be it a new project, a new chapter in your life, or perhaps a new relationship, something must first be dismantled in order to make space. But in alchemy, nothing is ever truly destroyed. The new is built on the foundations of what has come before, and there are lessons to be learned from the rubble. Okay, interesting since, the eighth house did come out, and it does make me think about, like, intimate relationships. Um, and, it's like something like maybe they could see you as someone who is looking for an intimate relationship that feels spiritual and like maybe someone you can go on adventures with or learn a lot from, maybe connect with in a like philosophical way. I do feel like they see you as someone who is very spiritual. They could see you as someone who is wanting to detach from them and kind of explore new options in love. Or in general, it's like just expansion, see what's out there, go on a new adventure. And they could, I also, especially with this sort of invention in the alchemist, I think they see you as someone who's incredibly smart. It's like you take situations, even situations that kind of, what people would say is like failed, like, so say a failed relationship, it's like maybe you don't necessarily see it that way, and you still take a lot of value out of things that technically don't work out. And it does work in your favor because you really learn from those experiences and you use them to your benefit later on and in future sort of situations. Let's see, we have the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords. And the other thing could be, this could be, the person you're asking about and their current thoughts of you, especially if you've had a rough time with this person or there was an ending with this person. It could be that they are thinking about kind of like the way things ended in the connection and how they can kind of learn from it in order to like better themselves in the future. So we have Swords energy here, Queen of Swords and Eight of Swords. So, that's Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. And I do think since the Swords coming out in a thinking of you reading, it is that this person is thinking about you a lot. They could be thinking that they don't feel like there's a lot they can do about the situation. Maybe it's like this does feel like a connection with this person could feel a bit complicated. And maybe there's been some challenges with this person. So it could be that they are thinking that you are kind of cold right now, especially if you do resonate with that message of kind of like, yeah, maybe this is someone that you've had an ending with and you're not really kind of looking at this person as really much of an option anymore, something like that, especially if this is kind of like a love thing. Probably disregard that if this is not about love, but they could be seeing you as someone who's kind of detached from your emotions at this time and maybe a little bit cold, maybe not being very like understanding, something like that. Otherwise, I also feel like there's something coming up about this person trying to detach from their own emotions in the situation. I do feel like whatever problems that you've had with this person definitely feels like you've had some problems with this person, and if you haven't, and this isn't resonating, I would suggest choosing a different pile. But I think that it weighs heavy on their mind whatever's happened between you two, and they're feeling like there might be some strong boundaries right now, and that they can't kind of like get closer to you, and they don't really know what to do. We have the Knight of Wands. Hmm. So we have some fire. That's Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Knight of Wands is kind of like, okay, so I think with their thoughts about you, especially since, like, what it makes me feel is it's possible that this person is really deeply emotionally affected by the situation, but this person might be skilled in some way in detaching from their emotions, or not really focusing on their emotions when they get so heavy. So if you do resonate with being kind of cold towards this person, putting up boundaries, and like it's definitely they have no way of really like making it better right now or getting closer to you, something like that. I do feel like their thoughts are that they're just kind of trying to distract themselves and do anything that they can to get their mind off of the situation. Not all of this will resonate, but it could resonate for a few of you that this person's using kind of, yeah, sort of distractions to get them through whatever heavy thoughts that they're having right now. So that could be kind of going out a lot, maybe, because the Knight of Wands is like, to me, it's a very fun energy, exploring, and, it's also, we talk about like, yeah, non sort of committal energy. It's very like fast and like, yeah, kind of distracted. So it does make me feel like for some of you, it could be it's like in order to kind of distract themselves from their feelings and their like maybe heavy thoughts about this connection, they kind of do sort of risky things, we'll say, to kind of take their mind off of things. We have slippers. Poised, balanced, classy, restrained, graceful, calm, disciplined, mature, flexible, and dedicated. Let's see what else. We have White Raven, Spirit, Trust in the Magic. I'm going to pull all your cards. Let's see. Inner Child, Careless / Receptive. Okay. And your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. So I do think that their thoughts about you at this time is that maybe you're being a little bit difficult with them. You're kind of testing them in some way. And then maybe that's not true, and they just think that you're doing that. It could be something like that where this person might feel like, yeah, again, this might not be true for everybody watching, but it does make me think that they could be thinking that you're putting up walls as kind of a tactic to get them to kind of chase you a little bit. Could be what they're thinking. In general, I do feel like this person wants good things in the connection with you, especially with White Raven Spirit. They want, their thoughts are that they hope that there's like more acceptance in the connection, more loving feelings in the connection with you, maybe a more balanced perspective of a situation. And for some reason, it does feel like, I don't know, I can't tell, I mean, their energy does feel a little bit chaotic, but this is, a current energy. So that could just be that they're dealing with things right now, and this is why their energy comes up like this. But I do feel like I get a sense that this person feels loyal to you in some way, does feel dedicated to you, even if with the Knight of Wands energy, if there was some sort of separation in the connection with you two, or arguments or fights, and they are kind of trying to really distract themselves. And that could be as simple as like distracting themselves with friends, distracting themselves with work, or distracting themselves with like video games, something like a hobby or something like that. And then for others of you, it could actually be, depending on your situation, the Knight of Wands energy is like, kind of messing around in other connections, something like that. So if you do resonate with that, I'm not saying that you should accept that sort of behavior, because that is kind of crappy behavior, but underneath of that, it does feel like there is a dedication, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean that that person is physically dedicated, as in going to take those sort of actions, but it does feel like somewhere in their heart they do think about you a lot. It's hard to get you off their mind, and they do a lot of things to kind of try and detach from their thoughts and their feelings for you. So it does tell me that they're not feeling the most positive, they are feeling quite negative. And it could be, yeah, it's that they do feel fearful of approaching you. I think that's something that they think about, and something that kind of stops them from approaching you at this time. They might, yeah, kind of fear your reaction right now, something like that. Or it's also something like, it could be that they recognize that you were very comforting and very kind and supportive towards them, and maybe in some way they ruin that, and it feels like you're not wanting to be so, yeah, receptive to this person, so caring or so supportive at this time, and they could be thinking about that. But yeah, I think otherwise, their other thoughts about you right now is just that you seem to be quite calm, that you're handling the situation quite well, and I think it does kind of scare them a little bit, because it makes them feel like, maybe the problems didn't bother you, or that you have really detached and you're moving on, kind of thing. So that's basically your message, pile one. So I hope that it does resonate with your situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Alright, pile two. So you chose the astronomer card and this arrowhead. And let's see, what are they currently thinking about you? What are their thoughts of you? And before we get into your cards, I'm using some astro dice. Kind of a new thing. I bought them a little while ago. Haven't used them yet, so I'm going to use them now. And I just kind of want to see, kind of get a feel for how they're currently seeing you. So yeah, pile two. How is pile two's person currently seeing them? Okay, so we have the second house, Uranus, and Leo. Okay, so the second house has to do with the way we make money. So maybe they see you as someone who's very focused on work or making money at this time. Leo does make me think maybe could be that they see you as shining in some way. Like maybe, okay, I think that they see you as someone who is incredibly unique, someone who's very special, someone who steals the spotlight. And maybe they think of you as doing that at work. Or maybe you have like genius idea. Like this is giving genius, actually. Genius ideas for ways of making money. Or it could also be, now with Uranus too, it could also be like sudden sort of shifts, and things kind of like a little bit of a destructive energy or a chaotic energy. So it's either like maybe they see you as someone who has made huge breakthroughs as far as how to make money. Maybe you grew up poor and you had a very sort of poor mindset, and you have a kind of a you've healed that in some way. And something about a sort of dramatic energy in a entertaining way. Maybe you're someone who's, I would say they see you as someone who's incredibly entertaining. All right, so let's see what cards. Let's see. So you have the astronomer, discovery. So I do feel like this person sees you as someone who's very smart. They think of you as someone who's very smart, someone who's adventurous, someone who likes to learn. Maybe you're into astronomy. You like learning about the planets, space. Let's see. I'm going to read a little bit from the book for this. Okay, number 62. Alright, so, okay, it says, you're in a complex situation, and clues on how to navigate it won't come from past experiences. Now is the time to look both beyond and within for answers, and to trust your intuition. Let go of material needs and concerns that are holding you back, and meditate on what your gut is telling you. Others who are like-minded may be able to guide you. Be open to their perspectives, but don't be bound by them. So I feel like that part of the way this person is like seeing you, and we'll get into like their thoughts, which might pull up a little bit different things. It's like more of, what's going on in them rather than about you. But as far as like, I do feel like this person might be looking towards you as some sort of guide or someone who has answers or solutions for them, or they want to follow you in some way and they think that they can learn from you. And yeah, and they might really like you and look up to you in some way and think of you as someone who, like, yeah, knows the right way to do things. And I think maybe you could inspire this person. Yeah, especially with that Leo and Uranus energy, I do feel like there's like a sort of genius quality to you that this person thinks about. So let's see, we have the King of Swords. That's funny because so pile 1 had the Queen of Swords right here, right in this exact spot. So now you have the King of Swords. That's interesting too because the King of Swords is, like, in swords in general, very intelligent. So they could see you as someone who, again, is very intelligent. And I like that we have the Astronomer here and the King of Swords. I do feel like this person thinks that you have a good balance of, like, using your intuition and following your intuition, but also using logic and reason. And it could be that with the King of Swords, perhaps that's, okay, this one might confuse me as far as, like, this is their thoughts about you, or this is them. Um, okay, no. So, yeah, I think that it could be that they think of you as someone who's very intelligent, someone who does perhaps rely more on logic for things. Maybe you do have, like, sort of a skeptical mind. You're not one to sort of jump to conclusions. It takes you a while to kind of have a certain opinion or idea about something. Like something that I notice, and I can't say like, everyone does this or anything, but I have noticed people who are trying to figure something out and they notice one thing and it's like they think it's associated with that, but there's not been enough information or testing on it for them to know for sure. And a lot of the times I'm like, I don't know because, like it might not be. Like we don't have enough sort of evidence to prove that to be true yet. And so, yeah, I feel like it could be that sort of energy where they think of you as someone who needs more evidence to know that something is true. And maybe they really trust your judgment on things. We have the Ace of Wands. And let's see, we have the Four of Wands. Yeah, the astronomer card did kind of mention like seeking like-minded people. So I do feel like maybe this person, their thoughts of you, and we have the Ace of Wands too. So this could be a new connection for you. And I feel like it could resonate for some of you that this person was quite literally seeking someone like you. With the King of Swords, and again, I kind of feel like you and this person share similarities. So I would say like maybe this person's a very intelligent person and they also value your intelligence and they feel like maybe you match each other on that level. And I feel like this person really kind of values your mind. Yeah, respects the way you think about things. And I feel like, again, yeah, it's like I think you inspire this person. This person gets inspiration from you. This person gets excited about you. And yeah, I feel like this person feels like you and them get along very well, or that you have a lot in common, or that, yeah, your connection flows well. So we have strong fire here. I think I mentioned with swords air, so Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius over here, and then with the fire we have um, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. I think that did also come out in pile 1 too, so that's interesting. But we have light bulb, discovery, epiphany, realization, wake up call, news, revelation, ideas, enlightenment, shock. There's that Uranus energy is really what I think. This person, yeah, what they think about you is that you're like an absolute genius. With this light bulb, I do feel like you give them sort of light bulb moments, like aha moments. You make them realize things. They really, again, I think value and sort of respect your mind, your intelligence, and yeah, I think you give them new sort of ideas, epiphanies about things, and it's like we have discovery here and discovery there. So there's definitely, I would say they think that maybe they're really excited to have discovered someone like you, something like that, but also they might have a fascination for discovering things, like learning new things, especially things that are original and unique. And I feel like this person might think of you as someone who's very unique and original, and they might be really sort of like attracted to that. Not that I'm really feeling that this is like a romantic energy. This definitely feels, not that it couldn't be, but this is like, this would be a pile for anyone, especially definitely platonic connections. Like this, it's almost like this person looks up to you as like a guide or a teacher, a leader, something like that. But if this is like a more of like a deeper connection than that, it's still very positive. It's like they're very excited about you. They really want to like discover more about you and through this connection, and they feel like, again, like really um, comfortable with you. We have grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. We have limits, limited slash limitless. And then we also have the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. So we got some Capricorn energy showing up. I do feel like they think of you as someone who's very like kind of dedicated to your like the way, okay, so yeah, it's like I feel like what I was explaining earlier, where you need enough evidence of something to know that something's true. Like, you're not going to jump to conclusions before you have enough information or enough evidence of something. And if that's the case, then I think they like that a lot about you. And they think of you as someone who's very serious about the way you think about things. It's like, I feel like they think of you as someone who's a deep thinker, and it's like every sort of idea you have, thought you have, perspective or opinion is very well thought out, and possibly like thought out for a very long time. Like, and possibly like you even revisit things that you think you're certain about, and it's like you revisit those opinions or those ideas, and you kind of like challenge your own ideas. Especially if you do that, this person really values that, thinks you're very smart for that, and yeah, it's like, especially within, like, tarot readings and spirituality, I think there is a tendency to kind of be very dreamy and just like, there's a little bit of an accepting of a delusional mindset, which doesn't really fit with me. It's okay if other people want to do that. You might not really like that sort of thing, being in a delusional sort of dreamy state, or things like that. And it could be that you very much understand what's possible or what's not possible. Like, another thing, and sorry for using myself as an example so much in this reading, but like, so a lot of the things that I think about and the opinions that I'll have is based off of like how, like, kind of like statistics. How likely is something to happen? I find that a lot of people have fears of things that are so slim. Like, the chance is so slim of those things happening. And for me, it's like every time I've had those sort of fears of very like low chance things happening, those things never happen. So I'm like, I'm not going to worry about things that there's like a 0.1% chance it's going to happen, or even a 1% chance it's going to happen. I'm not likely to really worry about those things. And I do feel like that sort of mindset can help me as far as those things. I don't know. How likely is something to happen? And sometimes people who think and fear, the very unlikely thing might happen, can also believe the very unlikely thing that sounds good might happen, and maybe that's not very likely. There's something, okay, you have a very realistic sort of view about things, not dreamy up in the up in the clouds sort of thing. And even with astronomer, I love astrology, and I really value astrology. I also really like astronomy, but I know that as far as like scientists go, a lot of scientists will make fun of astrology, and they don't consider it a science at all. They kind of laugh at it, think it's funny, kind of think it's like, it's not really true in any way, or it's kind of like fake, I guess, or it's not something that you should really follow as whatever. I think you get what I'm trying to say. But basically what I'm trying to say here is that you might really enjoy science and facts and statistics and what seems to be likely, what seems to be unlikely. And it's like something around your sense of judgment on things and your sort of realistic thinking. I feel like this person thinks of you, like they really value that in you, and they really kind of feel as if they can trust you and they would be able to trust your guidance. And maybe this is someone who doesn't feel like they would be able to trust many people's guidance, because they might, think that the 1% chance that something is going to happen is going to be the likely thing that happens. Unlikely and probably wrong, and maybe not the most trustworthy thing. So I don't know, there's something about this person thinking you're very trustworthy. you're very smart. You know your limits, you know what limits are, and you know kind of what's possible and what's sort of not possible. Something like that. And I think they really get along with you well and see that you guys are very similar in certain ways. So, yeah, that's basically your messages. Thank you for watching. Hope they resonated, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Okay, pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and you chose the Thief with this little stone crystal. I'm not sure what that is. Before we get into your card messages, I did want to roll some astro dice just to kind of see how your person is currently viewing you at this time. So pile 3, how is their person currently viewing them? Alright, we got the Sun, we got the 11th house, oh, and we got Aquarius. So Aquarius in the 11th house. There's a lot of like sort of Aquarius energy here. We did get Uranus in the last pile, which was cool. So Sun in Aquarius, someone who's very unique, someone who's very intelligent, someone who's original, maybe has a lot of friends. So they could see you like that. Yeah, someone who definitely has a lot of friends. Someone who is very independent as well. And someone who is humanitarian, likes to help out the community. Yeah. Very smart, very inventive. Yeah, and again, original. Let's see. What cards you got? So we have the Thief, and it says seizing the moment, selfishness. And then I'm going to read from the book there, and it's pretty short, but let's see. So these are kind of newer cards for me. Still, I did get them kind of a while ago though, so maybe I should know by now. Okay, 112. Here we go. Okay, it may seem sorry. It may seem a selfish way to live, but the thief makes their own destiny. And so do you. Grab that opportunity the next time it arises. Don't let should and could stop you from gaining fulfillment. Life is short, and sometimes you need to put yourself first. So yeah, I do feel like, you know, here's the funny thing. I didn't really decide whether this is how they see you or just kind of their thoughts of you or about you. But yeah, okay, so I do think that they see you as someone who is kind of taking charge of their own life. Like, you're very strong right now, and you don't kind of let people sway your opinion on things or your decisions. You're not easily influenced by other people. And that makes sense with the Aquarius energy, definitely being quite independent and not really looking to other people to, you know, kind of approve of what you're doing. And so yeah, it's like maybe you're in a sort of more selfish energy and kind of putting yourself first at this time. It's definitely, I don't think I see anything wrong with that, but maybe they think of it as a bad thing, and they might think of you as being a bit selfish, or maybe they understand it and they respect it. Let's see, we have Justice. So we have air energy here. We got Aquarius energy, so now we have Libra energy. And I guess it makes sense in a thinking reading we would get a lot of swords, but we've had a lot of air energy show up within the reading so far. Yeah, and then now we have the Knight of Swords. We might not have many left. And we have the Two of Wands. So I think in their thoughts, they might be trying to be fair in some way. With this sort of Libra energy coming from the Justice card, I do feel like if you are being selfish right now, it kind of fits with what I was saying, as they do understand. Like, I don't think that this person thinks super negatively of you for kind of putting yourself first or making sort of more selfish decisions, especially if in the past you were putting yourself after other things and other people. Yeah, I do feel like it may resonate for you guys that for a lot of you in the past you were putting other people first or other situations first before yourself and maybe your own happiness or your own well-being, and they're thinking of you as someone who's switching your kind of your method of doing things differently, trying new things, trying things in a different way, in a way you've never done them before. So yeah, maybe this sort of selfish behavior, which again I don't think is a bad thing, and I'm not saying that in a way like making you. I don't want you to feel like you should stop. Sometimes, and I think a lot of the times, it's good to kind of put ourselves first, and sometimes that means sometimes people are gonna think we're selfish, and that's okay. They can think those things. But yeah, it's like yeah, I think for a lot of you, they think of you as not doing that before, so you were giving a lot in the past, and maybe putting yourself again last, or maybe not last, but again after many other things. I think they think of you as someone who's really planning out your life right now, kind of trying to envision where you want to go and what you want to be doing. It could be that in their thoughts of you, they're wondering where they fit into your future. Like they could be, I do feel like this justice energy is like there's a fair energy, there's a kind energy, and I feel like they respect your decision to put yourself first. If it does mean that you've had to kind of like maybe say you had to put yourself before this person, then they understand it and they respect it, and they may be wondering like how far does this go and do they still fit in, and where do they fit in your future? Are they part of your future plans? I think they might be thinking about those things. So we have coffee, meeting, casual date, or run in, catching up, gossip, advice, venting, socializing, and discussion. Yeah, definitely. You could have, again, they could see you with that beginning sort of the astro dice. Like they might see you as someone who's very social, someone who has a lot of friends, and perhaps you've sort of been putting yourself first, and that might mean disappointing other people, maybe breaking promises with other people or canceling plans, something like that. Yeah, maybe you've canceled a plan with this person. Yeah, actually, with the thief, it could be that literally someone here canceled a plan with this person, and you're checking, like, what do they think of me right now because I canceled on them? I would say they're thinking they understand, and they're still wondering, like, well, when can we hang out in the future? Yeah, I would say this person really respects your boundaries. So if it's like you need time to yourself, you need to put yourself first, they understand and they're okay with it. They respect it. But yeah, they're wondering when can we meet up again? When can we hang out again? Things like that. And I do feel like it's like they want to catch up with you. They want to know about how you're doing, especially if, due to putting yourself first at this time, maybe they haven't spent as much time with you recently and they're wondering how you've been. Yeah, we have Otter Spirit, you are never alone. Yeah, I feel like one thing could be in their thoughts of you, they could think that you were, again, very social at some point, and maybe you're not as social now, either with them specifically or with many of your other friends. So yeah, it's like something of a message like they think, they saw you being very social in the past, meeting up with friends constantly, hanging out with many people, talking with many people, and just being out there. And I think, yeah, it's like you are never alone. Maybe they think that you got overwhelmed. It's like, God, I'm never alone and I want some alone time. And it's hard for me to say no to people. Maybe they think of you as, in the past or recently struggling to say no to people, struggling to cancel plans and just take time to relax or time to be alone, time to yourself. And so I think that they think of you right now as kind of, yeah, taking time to yourself. Um, or maybe only, being very selective of who you spend your time with. I think that's something they're thinking about you, is like, yeah, you have a lot of people who want to be around you, and that's nice to always have company. Sometimes you need to spend time alone, or put yourself first, or say no to some people, or again, this sort of kind of selective energy that they see you in at this time. We have perceptive, oblivious / aware. And then we also have show the world the real you. And we have more Aquarius energy here. Full moon in Aquarius. Wow, that's a lot. Let's see. So, one thing that they could be thinking about, I do feel like we have kind of like, for many of you, a sensitive energy here. Like the person who you came to this reading for can be quite sensitive. And I think, especially if you canceled plans with this person but didn't tell them, if any of you did that, they are upset about it. And they wish that you, I guess maybe the message is they wish that you cared enough to let them know, to give them a heads up in some way. Yeah, maybe you like switched plans on this person and you forgot to tell them or something like that. Maybe because you were very busy with other people. It could feel like that. And they feel like left out in some way, that you didn't include them, or they weren't included in some way. I do feel like this person is thinking they're a little bit nervous to tell you how they feel, if they feel hurt by you. Because there is this sort of energy where they don't want to upset you in any way. They don't want to disturb your peace. And they might feel like coming to you and telling you about the way something upset them, they might feel like it might put pressure on you in some way, and that you might not enjoy that. They might be a little bit fearful of like expressing some sort of like, again, hurt feeling or anger towards you. And I don't necessarily get that this person is angry at you, but maybe upset and feels maybe disrespected by you and doesn't know how to communicate that to you. But they wish you understood how they feel about something, is I think what's coming up. So yeah, that's basically your message, pile 3. Thank you for watching. I hope these messages did resonate with you, and I'll see you back in the next reading. Bye. Okay, pile 4. You chose the Adventurer and the Selenite, Desert Rose. Let's see, before we get into your card messages, I'm going to just roll some astro dice to get a feel for how your person is currently viewing you at this time. So for pile 4, how is their person currently viewing them? Okay, we got Pisces. We got the 6th house. And we got the moon. Okay. So very intuitive. Okay. Yeah, with this Pisces and the moon, I wonder, definitely, so I feel like this person might view you as someone who does like to isolate a lot, spend a lot of time alone. Very spiritual, though. It could be that this person sees you as someone who, you know, does a lot of like spiritual practice in your daily life, meditation, something like that. Maybe you do some sort of divination, and this person knows about you doing that. You could see you as someone who's very nurturing, someone who's very empathetic, again, emotional, very in touch with your emotions, strong emotions, and again, strong intuition, strong sort of intuitive insight. Okay. Now let's see your card. So we have the Adventurer, and I'm going to read that card. It's pretty quick, so let's do that now. So it's number 120. Okay, here we go. So it says, somehow you've ended up in a position in which the weight of expectation is heavier than you wanted. Unwanted responsibility is a heavy burden, and there are plenty of people waiting for you to fail, but there are just as many waiting to catch and help you. Don't try and face it alone. Ask for help, break the task down into smaller parts, and take it day by day, or even hour by hour, if you need to. There's no greater achievement than proving your naysayers wrong. Okay. So, I guess we'll see more within, like, more of your cards. It's kind of my bad on my part that I didn't really decide before. But I didn't really decide whether I was going to use this card as kind of more of how they see you right now, or just like their thoughts when it comes to you. But if it's how they see you, then it would be that maybe you feel some sort of heavy responsibility towards this person, or heavy burden. It could also be that you want to prove this person wrong, that this person has said you couldn't achieve something or didn't believe in you in some way. Or it could also be that's kind of how they see you, and that's sort of their thoughts about you right now. So you have to kind of decipher whether that, which is which for you. But let's take a look at the rest of your cards. Let's see. So you have the King of Crystals and the Tower. Yeah, no, definitely that matches with the adventure, this sort of maybe this is a pile where you're not on great terms with this person. Hold on. And we have we have the High Priestess. So very intuitive. They see you as very intuitive. Possibly, yeah. No, they definitely see you as very intuitive. And it's something either they think that you think they're going to fail at something, and they're really wanting to prove you wrong, and they think that you secretly, I don't know, possibly with the High Priestess, secretly think badly of them and secretly wish that they fail and to see them lose in some way, and they're hoping to prove you wrong, and that they, with this King of Crystals, that they're stable and there's no crumbling or tower coming their way. Otherwise, it's that. Sorry if that comes across as like I'm giving you, the viewer, attitude and defending this person. I don't know what this person's done, but I just do relate to the feeling of like possibly feeling like people want you to fail or do badly or to see you lose in some way, and wanting to prove them wrong. Of course, like, we don't want ourselves to fail. Nobody does. So yeah, that I hope that you don't think that about this person. But again, it's not really one to judge. I don't know your relationship with this person. Otherwise, it could be that they're thinking in some way, it's on you, like, or on them, or I don't know, where it's like they think that they want you to fail in some way. So it's hard for me to tell if they're the one who wants you to fail and that's what they're thinking about, or if they're thinking you're the one who wants them to fail. But it's one or the other. And it's something like wanting to prove the other person wrong and show that they are a stable person and that things are not going to be falling apart. Something like that. Okay, yeah, this is definitely like... You've had some problems with this person, clearly. We have Caution sign, cautious, wait for the right time, uncertainty, unsure of what's ahead, warning, advise, unsafe. Yeah, I do feel like this person feels cautious with you. Um, if you're still with me and you don't fully resonate with, like, you don't technically have, like, this isn't some, like, enemy of yours or something like that, dramatic or something like that, then I would say, and like maybe this is a love connection or something, it could be that there's something like wanting to prove that this connection can work, that this connection can be stable. Um, there could be someone here who thinks that something's not going to work out. And if they're seeing you as someone who's very intuitive and that you think something's not going to work out, they're very scared that you're right. Um, and they're really wanting to prove that something can be stable. But they, yeah, especially if they see you as someone who's very like intuitive and something like that, then, and you did say something like you don't believe something can work out, or they get a sense that you think something's going to fail, they're very afraid that you're right. And it is making them, although they want to prove you wrong or think that it's not going to happen, they want to stay like they're cautious now. They are a little bit anxious about the situation, but they are still wanting to kind of remain strong and see if things can be stable and work out, and that they can maybe be able to prove you wrong. So we have lion spirit, be generous of spirit. We have reflection, outward / inward. And we also have you are good enough. Yeah, definitely. This person. So another way I could read this too, it could be that you, like, because they see you as someone who's very intuitive, and perhaps you get a sense that something's not going to work out, and maybe you've expressed that to this person in some way. And it could be even like due to insecurity. Like maybe this is someone who this is a little rough of a reading because I'm getting very many different sort of like stories, and I'm trying to look at this in like different ways so that it does make sense in different ways, because it can. um you could have like not many problems with this person or no problems, and you're like friends with this person, or like this person is supportive of you in some way. And I think if you've expressed some sort of insecurity about something not working out, even if you believe that it might be likely, or you get an intuitive sense or something like that, they are hoping that you think you're good enough for something, that you could kind of stay committed to something, um, because they see value in you. Hmm. So yeah, so one thing that this person is thinking, especially if you resonate with being insecure about something not working out, like in your favor, or you think something's gonna fall apart, you're worried about it, or even if you feel intuitively like that's going to happen, um, this person feels like they think that you have a lot more power over the situation than you know, and that your perspective on the situation is kind of, yeah, creating your situation. Like if it's something like you want to stay committed to something but you're worried it's going to fall apart or it's not going to work out, they're thinking that if you just focus on like the good parts of things, like what you're good at, what makes you valuable, like, in kind of using positive affirmations and boosting your confidence and kind of just staying committed regardless of what happens or something like that, they do feel like you would be successful, that things would be stable, or that yeah, things would work out. So it's like I do sense a supportive energy, but there is also something coming through where they might think like if you've said something to this person that something's not going to work out, um, regardless of whether it was because you don't like this person and you don't want something to work out for this person, or whether it's because maybe you want the best for this person and you just intuitively see that something might not work. um, it does make them think about things, and it does make them cautious and kind of question things. Maybe question the way they're kind of perceiving things and viewing things, and whether that's like an honest way of looking at things or not. So I think overall, like, they definitely see you as someone who's kind of very wise and intuitive. Especially, we have the High Priestess and then Lion Spirit, be generous of spirit. It does feel like this person thinks of you as kind of just knowing things. Um, in some way, being able to, like, you might be, like, they think of you as psychic or being able to see into the future. So I do think it kind of scares them a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's basically it for your messages, pile 4. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Pile 5, welcome to your reading. You chose the Botanist. I hope I pronounced that right. It says Parenthood and Legacy. And this little stone or crystal. I'm not sure what that is either. Sorry, forgive me. But we're going to roll some Astro Dice first, and I kind of want to look at how your person's currently viewing you before we get into like more of their thoughts of you. So for pile 5, how is their person currently viewing them? Okay, we got Taurus, the 10th house, and we got Uranus. There's another pile that also got Uranus. Okay, that's interesting. So, Taurus vibes, and we have the 10th house. So, something like very focused on your... They might see you as someone who's very focused on your passions in life, what you want to be known for, and kind of creating a legacy in some way. They could see you as someone who's doing things very differently than other people, that you're very unique, your style is different, and that you have like something that's very original, and something that like maybe, yeah, especially with Uranus in the 10th house. To me, I'm not an astrology expert by any means, but very intelligent, and I also feel like they could be seeing you as someone who could invent something or create something new and get a lot of recognition for it. They could see you as someone who's very dedicated to like some idea or project or your passion, and that you work a lot towards these things. I guess other fun little things that I associate with Taurus, like the senses, like you might be seen as someone who likes your comfort. So maybe you like to spend time at home. I don't see Taurus as like a total homebody, but I do feel like they enjoy, luxuries of life, like cooking food. You might be viewed as someone who makes good food. You like to cook, or you cook good food, or you like to taste good food. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with that, and let's see what we've got with your cards. So yeah, we have the Botanist. Again, hope I pronounced that right. And Parenthood, Legacy. Oh yeah, Legacy, actually. I did kind of say that with the 10th house, kind of like building a legacy. Maybe it does have to do with family in some way, like parenthood. Maybe you are a parent. But yeah, I'm gonna read from the book for this one. It's number 88. And 88, for me, like, I usually associate that number with like finances, abundance, work, stuff like that. So maybe they could, you could be focused on those things. They think of you as someone who is very abundant in some way. But yeah, it says the botanist is a parent, a nurturer, a giver of life. By providing the right environment, they bring everything, intentions, material gains, even people, into fruition. What you do now creates a legacy for those who come after you. Take what you have learned from the botanist before you and become the next to embrace that role. This card is for you and for those who have nurtured you into who you are today. Interesting. For some reason, it does say parent, obviously. It does make me also think of, like, since it is nurturing and maybe in a material way, something like maybe you take care of plants and this person sees you as being good at taking care of plants. I also do kind of feel like some of you, may not be a lot of you out there, but like it's kind of like life coach energy that they get from you, maybe that you like help support a lot of people, or um help people grow in some type of way into like what they want to be. um yeah, let's see. Yeah, and I did kind of get this with, like, you got the 10th house in Uranus. And it does make me think of, like, almost inventing something. And it doesn't have to be like an actual creation, maybe, but like inventing a new style of something, a new way of doing something, possibly. It could be that they think of you as someone who could create something that would, again with the 10th house, like be something you're known for, you gain recognition for, and it would be passed down even, like to generations, after you, in some way. Or it could even just be that they see you as someone who is a good parent, that like maybe you do take really good care of your kids, if you resonate with that, and that it means a lot to you to kind of pass down like a sort of healthy, lifestyle or way of doing things or way of raising your kids. And perhaps like, it will really like benefit the rest of, your lineage in some way. But otherwise, I see it also being like something that could affect a lot of people in a positive way. Okay, and there's something I am getting about like tradition too. So like maybe this is something that even, came from your parents in some way, and they're seeing you as like taking something you learned from your parents or had from your parents and using that towards something. Let's get it. Let's just not waste more time and let's get into your cards. We have the Page of Swords, and we have the Six of Swords. I've been laughing this whole reading because of all the swords that come up in a Thinking of You reading. Let me get the Ace of Cups. Okay. So you're another with the Page of Swords. We did get the Queen of Swords in pile 1, the King of Swords in pile 2, and now you have the Page of Swords. And I didn't get it necessarily. I didn't get in pile 1. It was all about necessarily like their intelligence or mind, or it wasn't really about that. But I do feel like this is kind of like that for you. Like you are very curious about things. I see the Page of Swords as someone who soaks up a lot of knowledge, is very observant, and you could be someone who's very honest. They think of you as someone who's very honest. They're thinking you pay attention closely, that you notice a lot. You're a very calm person. I feel like they might think of you as someone who would rather not sort of argue about things and kind of drop things and let things go. Hmm. I want to pull more cards again. So we have labels: feminine, masculine relationships, change roles, belief systems, LGBTQ, choice, reference. Did I say reference? I meant preference. Okay. So I do kind of feel like it could be that this person is very curious about you, actually. And especially if this is like someone that you're kind of disconnected from. If you could be asking about someone like that, I feel like they're very curious about you, wondering where you're going, what you're doing, who you're with, if you're in a new relationship or not, or if you're looking for a new relationship or not. If this is a newer connection, yeah, it could still just be like this person is curious about you and wondering if you're interested in someone new. It could be that they feel like you've distanced yourself from them, and yeah, it's like they're curious now and wondering if you found someone new. It could be that they thought you were interested in them and that they're like wondering if you've lost interest and that you're again like looking for a new relationship. And maybe even, okay, please don't get offended by this may not resonate with everybody watching, um, but it could be that they are wondering, if like if they thought you showed interest that in them at some point, and they were thinking like, oh, maybe they're interested in me, maybe they like me, maybe I should get to know them. And then if you've like kind of distanced yourself from them recently, and that's how they're perceiving you, they're curious about you, wondering why. And it's like for some of you they could be thinking like, oh, are they gay, are they straight, like depending on your sexual orientation. Maybe they're wondering if you actually have a different sexual orientation and that's why you've pulled away. And maybe they think like, oh, that person might not be interested in me because I'm not, you know, the gender or whatever that they're attracted to. That could be something like a message for some of you. Honestly, and we have Peacock Spirit. Let it shine. We have devotion, indifferent slash passionate. Yeah, sorry guys that I was like kind of like struggling a little bit in the beginning of this reading, but it does feel very clear to me now. We have you and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. So yeah, definitely with this Cancer energy and Page of Swords, I do feel like they're very curious about you again, kind of paying close attention to you right now, and could be even like, especially your sort of emotional state. Like if you seem to be happy around them, or if you seem to be, anything other than happy around them, like if you seem to be uncomfortable around them, basically they might be kind of monitoring your emotions to kind of figure out if you're still interested or not. This definitely feels like this is like someone who's like maybe crushing on you or like sort of romantic. We got this little heart here that's shining in the Peacock Spirit. Yeah, I feel like this person definitely is curious about you, and if this seems to be someone who might have a crush on you, I think yeah, they probably do. And they do want to like get to know you and be very like bold and like talk to you or make a move towards you or something like that. But they might be just kind of like And it's funny too because is literally she's got her arms up here like what's the deal, like I feel like that's kind of like this person's energy, like you were playing along or you were interested is what they were thinking, and then like with this Six of Swords energy it could feel like some emotional distance or this sort of devotion energy. It says indifferent slash passionate, so maybe they thought you were kind of passionate at one point and now they're seeing you as being quite indifferent right now. And they're thinking like what's the deal, what happened, what changed, and they're wondering like is it they am I just not the right, I don't know, gender, are they gay or are they straight, don't, again, that might not be a message for everybody, but it could just be that, and if you don't resonate with that, like you're very clearly one or the other and it doesn't seem apparent that you would, I don't know, you get what I'm saying, but it could just be that they're wondering like, oh, are they changing roles, do they want a different relationship, or am I not the right preference, like do they have different preferences. It could be that in some way this person feels a little insecure that you've lost interest, that now you're a little indifferent. Sorry. Let's see. There's one other thing I was just thinking. Just it was reminding me of like this sort of trend of people, mostly girls, talking about the ick that they get from the men that they were interested in, and like some of them are quite dramatic, like, oh, they gave me the ick and I just can't, it's like very severe. It does make me wonder if like this person's thinking, wow, did I give them the ick or something like that, and now they've just suddenly turned away. I would really be curious to know if this resonates because I find this very funny. I hope it's a funny situation for you too. Anyways, that's basically it for your reading, pile 5. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope it resonated with you, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Okay, pile 6, welcome to your reading. Like the last, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Like the last 3 piles, I don't know what this crystal is. I've had this forever. This little blue stone is your crystal, and you have the magician. No, the musician. Give me a break. Okay, normally I don't do all 6 piles in one sitting, and that's what I'm doing right now, so be a little bit understanding of that, okay? So it says inspiration, gratitude, and I'm gonna look at that, but we're gonna take a look at your astro dice, and I want to see like currently how your person is viewing you. So for pile 6, how is their person currently viewing you? Alright, so we have Neptune, we have Aquarius, came out in one of the piles got Aquarius and the 11th house, and we have the 8th house. Ooh, okay. Very intuitive. I feel like they see you as someone who has a good balance of like intuitive abilities and also like intelligence and logic, and you're very mysterious to this person. Definitely, I think this person sees you as someone who's like very mysterious. It may be that this person doesn't know too much about you and they're very curious about you. You could give a sense that you're very spiritual. There could be, they see you as someone who's very different, very unique. You stand out in some way. Even if you want to hide away, I feel like this person will notice you anyways. Yeah, and it's like with the 8th house, I feel like they might see you as someone who's quite private. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. We'll stop there for there, or with that. Let's see with your cards. We have the musician. So I don't know, it's like with pile 5 I realized, and I didn't get to tell pile 5, that this card, I kind of didn't really decide whether this is how they see you or maybe just their thoughts when it comes to you. But I realized with pile 5, it could resonate that that card kind of represented the person who is thinking of them. So I don't know if your person could like use an instrument. Maybe you play an instrument, or this person like really connects with music, um, or you connect with this person through music. But I'm gonna read from the musician in the book. Give me 1 second to find it. It's page 132. Here we go. Okay. The musician is the dawn that follows the night, the hopeful optimism after a period of struggle. After facing your problems, you're now in alignment with your true self, or you will be soon. And it's time to appreciate yourself for the struggles that you've come through. Given your achievements, you're also in a unique position to provide inspiration to others who are still facing their own personal darkness. So yeah, if they see you that way, then yeah, they see you as someone who is very authentic, true to yourself, in alignment with your true self. Maybe you've been through a lot and now you're finally feeling more optimistic, and you've gone through some sort of struggle and sort of overcome certain challenges. And so I think they see you as someone who's very strong if you resonate with that. Otherwise, that could represent this person and kind of what they're going through. And maybe in some way you've inspired them and brought them a sense of hope and like optimism to their life. Yeah, let's see. What else you have? Oh, you have the Lovers. Yeah, I was kind of shocked when this with your pile. I don't remember exactly what cards came out because I shuffled this out a while ago, but I remember like I think the Lovers was the last card to come out for as far as what I was shuffling. And I was like, wow. I think I remember maybe your reading was like very positive, which I guess resonates with the sense of optimism. Maybe they see you as very optimistic, or they and or slash and they feel very optimistic about you and about the connection with you, the connection that you have. Maybe they feel that there might be a lot of feelings in this reading, as far as like I know it's a thoughts of you. I explained in my feelings reading that I just did that there's like one pile that it came up that that person was thinking about them a lot, and I find that whenever I do feelings readings, thoughts will still come up a lot, and if I do like their thoughts of you reading, feelings can come up still. But yeah, this might be a pile where we get kind of a lot of their feelings coming up with their thoughts. Maybe they think about their feelings a lot when it comes to you. But I feel like with the Lovers, they feel like a soul connection with you. Maybe you really vibe and share the same type of music. Maybe both of you play instruments or different instruments, and I don't know, I feel like this person feels like you're like a kindred spirit in some way. We have the Queen of Cups. And we have Starseed. Yeah, definitely. I wonder if this person is also spiritual in some way. Maybe you two both have like yeah, maybe you consider each other like soulmates. But yeah, I feel like this person, they may think of you as someone who's like extraordinary in some way. Someone, again, like I feel like, well, I think in their thoughts of you, I think they think very like sort of poetically. Like again, like I'm thinking like soulmates. They could be a spiritual person, and if you resonate with this person being spiritual, they could think of you as like a very strong soul connection, soulmates, destined to meet in this lifetime. very deep, sort of like poetic, I feel like, sort of energy and thoughts that come through. I want to pull more cards. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and I was thinking, like, that's probably why also I thought this was a really good pile. We have the bouquet, romantic gesture, connection, expression, thoughtful love, admiration, and gratitude. We also have gratitude here too. This is the second time this has happened in this reading. The other word was discovery in a different pile. But yeah, so this definitely could be a romantic connection for many of you. I would say maybe most of you. There might not be many of you that this isn't a romantic connection, but even if this was like a platonic connection, it's just like a very strong, still like soulmate connection that they feel and they think about that. They could think about making a romantic gesture towards you, especially we do have this lover's energy. It could be they want to serenade you, write you a poem, make you a song. Yeah, these types of things. If you resonate with this person, like playing an instrument or being like gifted in it, like musically, then they might be thinking of like creating music for you. Maybe you're their muse in some way. Yeah, I feel like they think about the connection with you, how to feel more connected with you. They feel a lot of love towards you, admiration, and gratitude. I feel like this person feels extremely grateful to have met you and that you're a part of their life. And I feel like it should resonate that you are definitely like a strong part of this person's life, or at least like they really sense a potential. Like if this happens to be like a new connection, they really sense a very strong connection, like a strong potential of like this connection being fated. They were meant to meet you, you're perfect for them, or that you're like soulmates. So we have Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle, and that's interesting since with the musician card, I keep wanting to say the magician. um Maybe they feel like they manifested you, or maybe they feel like you're meant to manifest great things also. Yeah, with this overcome any obstacle, they see you as someone who's incredibly strong. It could also it or sorry, it either that, or it could be that they feel like maybe the connection with you has been through many sort of obstacles, and that you've overcome those obstacles and your relationship is beautiful now. Or it could be that, this person yeah, I feel like it would be something like that if you resonate with that. Otherwise, I think it's just that they see you as someone who is incredibly strong for what you've been through. You're very strong, very maybe wise because of what you've been through. And especially with the musician energy, was getting sort of like, I think it was this pile, is like life coach sort of energy. Yeah, that you can inspire people and like really help people grow. And I think you would be someone who really helps people overcome their own obstacles in their life. Um, yeah, we have judgment, critical slash complimentary. And we have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. So we got more Aquarius energy. So you did get Aquarius come out with your Astro dice. And we also have Gemini with the lovers. So lots of air energy here. We do have some water with the Queen of Cups. We bring love into the situation. So yeah, for some of you, especially if this is like a newer connection and you do have romantic feelings towards this person, and they, you sense that they have romantic feelings back, I think they're thinking, yeah, about their romantic feelings and sort of how they can make it more official. Yeah, with this sort of bouquet energy, make a romantic gesture towards you. And I feel like this person wants to compliment you and make you feel beautiful in some way. I am noticing with, bring love into the situation, in this card she's got her back turned, but she's naked. So, and usually Aquarius energy in the star card is kind of represents like being kind of vulnerable in some way because you're naked, and being like in a way like you're very authentic and true self, hiding nothing. So I wonder if it's like it could honestly be, especially if this is a romantic connection, that they do want to explore with you, like explore your body, that type of thing. Especially if you haven't yet, like they definitely think about that. Um, and then that's definitely not all they think about, for sure. But that's still something that does, they think about that too. Um, I feel like if any of you have any sort of insecurities, like you hide your body in any way, or feel like if they get a sense that you're in any way insecure about your body at all, I feel like there's something coming through that they think they really want to lift you up in some way, make you feel confident, make you feel like you're lovable, and that you're insecure. The things that you might be insecure about is things that maybe people don't even see or notice, or even things that they might find beautiful about you. So it could be that they feel like, yeah, if you are critical of yourself in any way, that they kind of want you to be more gentle to yourself. And I think it comes through that this person wants to encourage you in some way and kind of bring a gentle touch and make you feel comfortable and confident and accepting of yourself. So yeah, I think that's basically it for your messages, pile 6. Thank you for watching. Hope you like those messages, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.